Hello everybody, you're listening to Money Grows on Trees. I'm your host, Pastor Alfred. Money Grows on Trees is a series of broadcasts where I highlight certain portions of information in books that I'm currently writing or books that I've already written and published. For you to get books that I've published, go to pastoralfred.com. Also subscribe, that way you will receive alerts when new books I'm about to publish are about to be released, and also you will get notifications when there are new broadcasts in this series and a lot of other series. Today I would like to tell you that companies employ your skills, not your degrees and PhDs. You see, a lot of people have been taught wrong. A lot of us have been programmed wrong, and we have been subject to the consequences of believing the wrong things. The idea out there, and the idea that even I and a lot of people have had, is that you go to school, you get your degrees and PhDs, then you get access to a good job or a better life. There is so much that is laid out there. Now there's also the concept of, and I should say perhaps the movement of entrepreneurship. And naturally, when you're starting your own company, you don't need to show a degree to anybody. You don't need to show your qualifications to anybody, unless you are starting a company in a country like China, where you have to have at least a college degree to register your company. But still, you are not being employed by an individual, so you don't have to show a curriculum vitae or a CV or a resume to impress somebody for them to give you a job. So that is something that is well known for those who take the path of entrepreneurship. And then it is looked upon as, well, if you are going to take the other path of getting a good job in a great company, that you would need your degrees and your PhDs and all of that, that is of great advantage. But the truth of the matter is that is a lie. Because at the end of the day, what companies are looking for is your skills and your abilities. They are looking at your productivity. They are looking at your ability to produce results, not your degrees and PhDs. You can work at any company, including companies that you would imagine that they wouldn't employ somebody who does not have a high school degree or a college degree. But you can work at such companies. The only situation where you will run into a brick wall is when those companies are in industries where the government itself requires everybody who works in that industry or in that sector to have a certified accreditation from the government. For example, you can know all you want about medicine. You can know more about medicine than all the doctors in the world. But if you do not have a legal license to practice medicine, it is going to be very difficult or impossible for you to work in any hospital. And that is because the government puts that restriction there. However, that restriction, it is important that you must know that it is not put there by the company. What the company looks at is results. As a matter of fact, in spite of those restrictions, if you are producing results, the company can go around and hire you as a consultant and say, well, you are not an official employee, that you are a consultant. And that happens a lot. In the case of industries where the government has enforced laws that those who participate in that industry in a professional capacity should have a certified accreditation. It's just like if you want to be a lawyer and practice law. For you to own a law firm or work in a law firm as a lawyer, you have to have those degrees. You see, you have to be a part of the system that is approved by the government. You have to have that membership of the bar. That is something that is put there by the government. But the company itself does not look at that. It only honors that so that it won't break the law. What they are looking at is skill. The reason I'm bringing this to your knowledge is because there are a lot of people who feel that they have missed out, that they do not have an opportunity. There are a lot of people who are homeless, and a lot of people who feel that, well, if only they could rewind time and they had parents who had money and then they had a better education and they went through the schooling system and they succeeded, then they can make it. You see, that is not true. That ideology I want to expose as a falsehood. You see, that is not true. Because even if you are a homeless person right now and you have no place to stay, you do not have any degrees, and you are looking at yourself as, because I do not have this degree or this background, there's no way that I can work in any of the big or mighty companies. You see, that mentality is a lie. What you need is the skill. You can acquire the skill independent of the educational system and the degree. What the companies are looking for is the skill. Remember that the companies and the industries where the government puts laws to force those who practice in those industries to have accreditation, those industries are quite few. And even in those industries, there are ways around it where employers look for people who are productive. Because you have to understand that, you may not know it now, but the first thing on the mind of the owner of every business is to make profits and to be more productive. And he can only do that with people who are productive. So if you show yourself to be valuable and highly productive, you have made it in that person's eye. That person is going to call you. That company is going to want you. You see, that is what it's about. And the funny thing is that you can begin to acquire and increase the number of skills you have daily. You see, let us look at something like computer programming. There are a lot of people who work for Twitter, Facebook, and a lot of computer programming companies that are paid 6 figures a year. But guess what? Those skills that they have, that they went to school and paid all those high school fees to acquire, those skills you can also get by going online and learning for free by yourself. You can buy a book, just one book, and read it and understand it. You can go through online courses and tutorials and learn all those things. And when you show yourself in such places, in companies that require such skills, they would hire you. You also need to know how to present yourself, because you are not presenting a resume. You are not presenting a list of schools that you went through. You have to have what is called a demo reel. You have to show your resume in the sense of what you have produced, in the sense of what you have created with those skills that you acquired. You see, and that is what is going to be your resume that will get you into those offices and into those high-paying jobs, and they will pay you the 6 figures too. So you see, there really is no gap between the homeless person and the millionaire who is working at any company in the world. You see, the only difference is the skill acquired. You don't have to go back to school or regret that, if only you had the opportunity to have parents and opportunities that put you in a position where you went to the best schools and had the finest degree, then you will be in a better position where you can be working at a high-paying job in a great company. You see, you must understand it. That is the truth of the matter. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who have gone to schools. They have the wonderful results and all of that. But guess what? When it comes down to it at the job, they are not productive enough. You see, or they do not fit in. They do not work well with the company. What does the company do? The company lets them go. They are always one of the first people that the company gives a pink slip and lets go. You see, especially at the first sight of so-called crisis. Those are the people that the company always lets go. You see, your degree and your academic resume is not what is going to determine your advancements and success in the real world. It is your productivity. It is what you are doing with the skills that you have acquired that will determine your advancements and your progress in the real world. This is something that you must know. So anytime you see somebody who is homeless, or you see somebody who feels like they are in a position where, because a lot of people have this mentality, and this is a result of how we have been taught for so many years and how we see the world. Perhaps you live in somewhere in Chicago and you are like, if only I had the opportunities like that rich white people over there in whatever rich neighborhood it is. You see, you are thinking of them in a different way and in a different light. Especially a lot of black people are raised this way, so they think in this direction. If only I had the opportunities and the rich parents, and if only they even go as far back as saying, well, if only slavery never happened and all of that, that I would be in a better position and be working for a huge company with all the perks and have the wonderful salary and all of that. But you see, all of that is a lie, because those companies are not looking for degrees and what school the person went to, how prestigious the school is. What they are looking for is results. You see, if someone goes into a company and shows off their degrees from all the prestigious universities and all of that, but when that person gets into the job, the person does not perform, what do you think will happen? Do you think the company will keep the person and say, well, that person has a great degree from so and so universities and all of that? No, that person won't. The company won't look at that. That person will be fired, because the company is about increasing its bottom line. It's about increasing its profits. So when it sees that this person is decreasing the profits or creating losses and is not helping the bottom line in any way, that person goes, and they will bring somebody who is helping the bottom line, whether that person has the prestigious school degrees or not. So you must understand that it is all about acquisition of skills. And I'm saying this so that you understand the value and the importance of acquiring new skills on your own, independent of a schooling system. So I want you today to make up your mind. There's nothing that you cannot do. Let us say that you are in the poorest situation right now, but you think that, well, if your life had been different, you had wealthy parents and you were exposed to a better schooling system, or you went to school, perhaps you didn't go to school, and you are thinking of all this, if this had happened, then you'll be in a position where you can work at the company that pays the highest amount of money to people and blah, 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 and all of that. No, don't think like that. Don't think like that, because the truth of the matter is that where you are now, you can begin to acquire the skills. And when you have those skills, that is what the company will come for and look for when you make yourself presentable to them. Remember to develop a demo reel, something that shows your resume of productivity, what you have done, what shows that your skills are not just up to par, but are needed. When you do that, you can work at any company, in spite of the fact that you may not even have a high school degree. That is the truth of the matter. So keep that in mind and make up your mind today to start learning all the skills that are required to get that dream job or position that you would like to get. Perhaps you would like to be able to build planes. Perhaps you would like to be able to build the best houses. Perhaps you would like to, whatever it is, or whatever company that is huge that have impressed you and you would like to work for, begin to acquire the skills for that position in that company. And when you do that, make yourself presentable and with your demo reel, with what you have done. You see, there is more that goes into a demo reel than it's said in this broadcast. For more information on this topic and what I'm talking about, you have to go to pastoralfred.com and subscribe. That way you will get more in-depth information on the contents that I share with you in this broadcast. Also, when new books I publish are out, you'll be able to get them and you'll be naturally blessed by them. They will all be a blessing to you. Also on my site, there are different, and this is a new thing, there are now provisions where you can actually subscribe once per month for a low fee and get access to all my books in different categories. See, it's an interesting concept. Think of it like Netflix, but for books per category of books that are written by me. Think of it like Marvel Unlimited. For those of you who are familiar with Marvel Unlimited, I'm talking about the Marvel app, the comic book app. So with a monthly subscription, a low monthly subscription, you can get access to my contents, my books, within different categories. You pick the category that fits you. It's cheaper that way than buying a lot of books, and you would also be doing so much in helping to support the broadcasts and the books that I'm writing by doing so. You see, because giving away content for free, as wonderful as that is, the laborer is worthy of his wages, and one of the best ways to help guarantee the longevity of a company or a product offering, because what I'm doing now is a product offering. One of the best ways for it to be guaranteed longevity is for it to generate capital in some way or form that will be able to sustain it. And that is why these things are there. So remember to go to pastoralfred.com and subscribe. So on a monthly basis, you can get access to books that I'm writing as I'm still writing them, plus the books that I'm published. You will get all of that together in different categories. So check out pastoralfred.com. Once again, thank you and God bless you.